very good morning to you on this Wednesday, the 31st of December 2025. We are the last day of the year. It's been a while since I've done an upload on the trails in the sky. I can't bloody see me. Well, we're officially winter now, and just to cap off the year on the Cosmic Twilight, we have trail in the sky. Yes, we still have the stars out, which is quite nice. And it's been pretty crap weather once again. But it's been nice yesterday, hence I'm going to remove the time-lapse camera to review it. And yes, again, we have trails in the sky. But is it there to block out the sun? This is the question. I got one faint one there. Okay, right, well, I'm going to bring the camera in, check it out, and have a little look, and I'll keep my eyes to the skies. But once again, let's look at the humidity on this day. So it's... I think now, doing this a few years and really cracking it down hard on this year alone, the humidity doesn't make any difference. It really don't. I've done videos, I've made videos where the humidity was 30 odd percent, 50%, 70%, 100%, 90. I mean, it's all over the place, and there's still trails forming in the sky. But bear in mind, it's nothing like this. It's very separated, like it is today, this morning. So yeah, once again, in around this area, 60 odd percent, 50 odd. Yeah, which according to mainstream science, that's what's making trails form, but not necessarily, no. And this is taken at the altitude of 30,000 feet, according to this app. As you saw, the humidity is about 60 odd percent thereof. But again, it doesn't make any difference whatsoever. But what I like to do on days like this, and I'll do the best that I can to keep the camera still, is to see whether or not there's a gap between the engine and the trail itself. If I know it's a gap there, I know it's coming from the engines and not a spray nozzle, because if it was a spray nozzle, you would see literally the chemicals coming straight out. In this case, like it is in every single aircraft I've seen so far this year, oh, the planet, there's a planet. It's coming from the engine itself. I know it's coming from the engine because you've got the gap between the trail and the engine. Is that going to persist? Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah, okay. Look at that, bang, right in the middle. Perfect. But it made that right there. Okay. Ground frost, as is always happening in winter, where the skies have cleared. So what's it like so far? Well, we've got one wispy trail, nothing too drastic. It is clear sky, but remember, like I said before, right there, a blanket of white cloud. If this makes its way towards my area, is most likely you're going to see trails. And I keep saying this over and over again when the videos have been uploading. As soon as you see trails, you can see it next to like a white blanket start to appear, and it'll be in the mix. There's another one there. So we'll see what happens. It should be moving in that direction, that way. And yeah, but it's not going to block out the sun, is it? It's flipping cold, for Christ's sakes. What, -2, I think? Oh, it's freezing. But yeah, eyes to the skies anyway. Let's cap off 2025 today. Let's do it. Ooh, check this out. Just goes to show I'm only seeing a very small portion of the sky. But once again, like I said, you can see in that direction there, you've got this white haze, see where the point is. And you always get these trails next to it. And I've always noticed that. Now, I'm not saying that this white haze is to do with the trails, because it always have a distinct look. And you can see one trail going across there. This is obviously a natural cloud. Move over to my area. Yeah, it looks pretty much clear. So this is making its way towards my direction. It's my repointer, by the way. But yeah, there we go. Right, check this out. A bit of time has passed. It's a very still morning. Nothing's really moving as such, but those trails are starting to spread out, kind of. But look how thin it is. Look at that X there. It's so thin. Is it going to be there to block out the sun? Do you know what I mean? And it is just where that white haze is. You can see an aircraft at the moment giving off a trail. But there we go. We can see once again that the trails are in one area, and the remaining area, nothing much. There's one in the background there. But there we go. It's not going to block out the sun, and it's like I said, it's like it's like -2. A bit of time has passed. It's coming up to 10 o'clock in the morning. We'll still have the ground frost, but nevertheless, we have pretty much a clear sky except for this little trail. Now, let's look at this trail. Let's look at it. It's so thin, it's not going to block out the sun, and it's pretty pointless just to spray one trail in the sky. For what purpose? And then I need to back up what I just said with actual evidence, and for this point now I'm just going, I don't have any evidence to prove that these trails are toxic poison. I think I'm beyond this point now where we need some sort of rational thought that comes into this. Here we go, look at this. Not saying it's toxic poison. Let's have a look just to see the gap between. Oh, I don't know on that one. I'm fully zoomed in. It's done that. So I just checked the flight tracker and I cannot see this aircraft. And what's interesting is actually coming out of the engines. You can clearly see that. And obviously in this case, there is no gap in between. A slight gap. I'll zoom in as much as I can in the video. But yeah, I'm going to have a little look in a sec just to see whether or not the app itself hasn't picked up this plane. But yeah, so far it's done that. Decent trail. Okay, let's go on flight tracker and trying to find this aircraft. Right, here is the aircraft. It's a KLM and it's traveling from Lima to Amsterdam. 37,000 feet. There we go. So a commercial airline, and here it is. Did look blue actually when I saw it in the distance, but there we go. That's the plane. Let's have a look at the humidity. Okay, so in regards of what it's actually like in terms of the trails in the sky, it's not rampant here, but nevertheless, I'm only seeing a very small portion of the sky. But what I want to do is just pinpoint what the humidity is. So it's just below from what mainstream science is saying, 49, 50 odd. Again, it's pretty pointless when it comes to humidity because, like I said, I've seen trails in the sky quite rampant and the humidity was only like 30% or thereof. So there we go. There's the humidity. Let's have a look before it goes off. Can we see any details? Yeah, it's gone too far now. Okay. That is the aircraft, all right? So it's a commercial airline that's made this impressive trail. Now we have another aircraft here that's going to be flying into London. That's a nice thumbnail. So there it goes. Obviously it's quite low. But these trails are very, I mean, they're small. This one's long and thin, isn't it? But eventually will spread out. But that, it might stay in one position at this point because it's such a still morning. It really is. Oh, I just saw goldfinch. So there we go, so far. Look at this. Short time has passed. Moving very slowly. There we go. Is it going to block out the sun? No, of course not. We'll go on the satellite in a minute. We'll have a look. Coming up to lunchtime. Well, pretty much lunchtime now. And look, so far we do have trails in the sky. But look what it's like. It's like that. Thin. Thin and see-through. Not blocking out the sun because we've got sun shining on the trees there. Even though it is cold. There you go. There's a trail. It's pretty cold. Well, it would be. It's winter and it's clear sky. It's going to happen. But yeah, the trails are not making any difference whatsoever. It's not there to block out the sun. But yeah, that's the sky so far. It's looking quite nice, isn't it? This cold winter's morning. Well, lunchtime, so to speak. Got another corporate. Should get a nice, decent view on this. Done that. Look at that, I got the stripy effect of, I think it might be a trail actually. A spread out trail, I'm not too sure. Yeah. That's a striking footage right there. Awesome. I'll tell you what, let's track the humidity as we're past lunchtime and the plane. I actually forgot to track the humidity and the aircraft itself, but nevertheless, we've got the time-lapse camera, which I'm going to give to you today, and we're going to have a little look through. But I want to wish everyone a happy new year of 2026. Yes, I'm filming this right now on the 1st of January, and we are 11:45 in the morning. But nevertheless, it was a bit of a traily day yesterday, on the last day of the year, the 31st of December 2025. And what is 2026 going to bring us? I don't want to know. At this point, 2025 was a crazy year. Nevertheless, let's get into the time lapse for that day. So yeah, specifically the morning. Well, let's just do a quick recap before I play the video. There were trails throughout the day, but they were so thin, very, very faint. Humidity-wise now, it's been over a year since, over a couple of years, but this year specifically, really tracking down the humidity to see what they do in terms of the quality of the trails. And honestly, it doesn't matter what the percentage is because because I've been proven the fact that humidity doesn't take any consideration for these trails. I might be wrong on that one. I might do further analysis in this year alone. But that's just what I've been tracking anyway, especially on the days where it's like this. So hence you've seen the humidity level anyway. So here we go. Let's click play. But once again, follow the cursor because I'm going to point to the direction. The trails were very hit and miss, very hit and miss. They weren't thick like this. This is what I'm talking about here. They were just bits and pieces, of trails in the sky. It was nothing drastic. But all in all, I think it was quite a nice day. Let's have a look. And bear in mind, at some point, if you just look where the sun is, there, look at that, beautiful. I actually tracked that perfectly, to a certain degree. Let's go back again. So I'm just going to pause before that plane flies by. You will see in the sunlight, you get this like misty white haze, which is a natural cloud, by the way. You can track that back through books on cloud formations for God knows how many years, decades and decades, all right? So there's nothing to do with trails, all right? But you do have one trail forming. But again, you see what the quality of it, it's not that thick. Yeah, here it is. You see what I mean? They're so thin and they're all the same. See all the trails here? They've got the same consistency. And why is that? Why are we not getting thick trails? I thought that was the purpose, to block out the sun. Hence why the video is called So the Weatherman Says, Did It Block Out the Sun? That's the whole concept of this. But again, you see this, you can't really see with the naked eye. Only so you got the time lapse out, and you, especially in the sun reflection, you can see this white cloud cover, which is a sign that there's humidity in the atmosphere. Okay, so if you've got humidity and they're saying that's what making trails form, that's the indication of, okay, potentially we can get trails forming in the sky, but it's very lackluster. You know what I mean? Where it's because I've seen photographs and photographs of people uploading these small little trails in the sky, and I'm thinking, but what's that going to do, really? You know, here on Cosmic Twilight, we like to have a proper base conclusion of what we're actually seeing instead of just jumping to conspiracy theories and the most craziest ones to go into. I think it's time to really have a crucial analysis into actually what we're seeing in the sky. And that means going into science. And like I said before, if the part of the community just don't believe in science, they're very anti-science. But once again, we've seen throughout the day very, very small trails. But we'll bring up the satellite in a minute. I'm just going to go through very, very quickly anything at night. Let's have a look. I'm just going to skip ahead. I did hear one website saying normally you get loads of trails at night. I don't see that at all in my nighttime lapse. There we go. We got that. See that white haze again? Okay, that's perfect. Okay, so this is a perfect example of what I've been talking about for the whole year. Okay, this is one thing I keep on seeing. See this massive white cloud here? Okay. This I found out through a load of books on cloud formations that this is a natural cloud, okay? It's called cirrostratus. It's what can create the halo around the sun. It's nothing to do with chemtrails, nothing to do with that. It's a natural cloud you can trace back for the past 90 years, okay? It's nothing new. Every time I see this white haze, even next to the actual white haze itself, you see trails forming. But again, that is given the illusion, okay, oh, well, that obviously they're spraying in that immediate area. It's like, well, no, because there's moisture in that area because the trails that are forming in the sky is the same altitude as cirrus clouds and even cirrostratus. And this is the reason why trails are forming. Hence, look, take right here. Look, you see no trails throughout the night. What I've just showed you here. I know I skipped ahead, but look, you see one go right across. Wait for it. There. See? And you still get trails forming. So let's have a little look. I just want to see this white cirrostratus. I mean, sometimes it comes in phases. It gets thicker, it gets thinner, it gets small little patches, a bit like linear clouds and stuff like that. But no, it didn't really do anything. But it kind of, if I just go back slightly, you can see even there the trail just forming there. See, next to that white haze, and you got an aircraft going across it in a second. That gives just a semi trail. Watch this. There we go. See, and the trail almost like persisted because it's in that immediate area of the cirrostratus, which is a natural cloud, nothing to do with chemtrails. And I've just one thing I've noticed with that: if you've got to study clouds, don't be afraid of clouds and saying, "Well, that's all been man-made." When you can trace back these clouds through decades and decades, it's just oh, my bloody brain sometimes in this community is like, come on, guys, let's have a bit of a rational thought here. And that's what I bring forward to the Cosmic Twilight. So, yeah. Oh, here's another typical example. So this morning on the 1st of January 2026, you have trails in the sky at the moment, a bit more rampant than what you're seeing today on this video. But you're seeing this white haze, this white blanket coming, and you keep on seeing trails in that white blanket, which I've just showed you right here. And right now, watch this. So you see, comes in, see that there? Right, I'm not all skeptic, right? Did you see it just like turn on like that? Watch it. Go back, watch it. Just that white haze just appears really, really quickly. There. See it? It's just like, okay, I tell you what, I'm gonna slow it down I know it's in time lapse, but I actually sped this up. Right, I've slowed it down. Isn't that nice? It gives a striking effect, I have to admit, when you've got the moon reflecting in the camera, I have to admit. Watch this. So that's something I can learn by, isn't it? I might be the effect of the camera, but and it's gone. It's kind of weird. Look, if I go back, how it just appears like that all the time. But it's something I can learn by. This is it. I'm not jumping straight to conspiracy theories because what did it really do, really? Because it's about to disappear in a second. Wait for it. Wait for it. And it's gone. Do you see what I mean? So, yeah, I tell you what, as we're looking at the sky, oh, it's back again. Hold on. Wait for it. And it just appears again. Might be something to do with the camera. I'm not too sure. But again, you're seeing trails being formed in that sort of white haze. I keep saying it. As soon as you see Cirrus Stratus or Cirrus, you're going to get trails. Last but not least, let's check out the satellite feed over England. So 31st. Oh, way too. I mean, you got to think the days are pretty much short, even though it's going to get brighter in the mornings by 1 second, I think. It's only very, very, very slight. But again, you can't really see anything here. So I want to focus on this direction so far. I'll tell you, just go up a little bit so you can see the overall of UK. But yeah, this is where I live, southwest of England. I'm just going to go forward quickly. Let's have a look at the trails. I'm just going to zoom in just slightly. Okay, so we'll have a look how many trails we've got. We've got some here, but remember that day was pretty much a mixed bag of clouds. So I don't see any trails that is going to block out the sun. All right. Okay, it's coming down. Okay. Well, that was pretty pointless, isn't it? It's just to prove my point that what I'm seeing on these chemtrail Facebook pages and all these chemtrail pages that got thousands of members, thousands of subscribers, what you want to call it, and they're posting pictures of trails in the sky. And when you really think these trails are not doing anything, they're not blocking out the sun. But then if it doesn't block out the sun, it's there for poison. It's like, yeah, but you haven't tested it though. You're going off a whim. You're just going off a buzzword. It's like someone shouting, "Oh, bloody barium, aluminium, strontium." I'm like, okay, why are you saying that then? Well, that's all over the crops. There's all over the food. I'm like, yeah, but where'd you get your information from? Where's your evidence? I need evidence now. I can't rely on a documentary called The Dimming. It's very convincing, by the way, but I'll be very skeptical anything Ding Wingington puts out. Very, very skeptical. But again, I'm in a clean bill of health. My nan's still here. She's 91. So if chemtrails have been going on for the past, 30 years since the late 90s, or people say earlier than that, well, the elderly are still here. My nan's still here. I just don't get it. I really don't. But look, a bit of trails in there. Let's go ahead for the rest of the UK. Anything we can see that's going to block out the sun near. Bit of white haze there. Cool. There we go. So there we have it. Did the trails block out the sun on the 30th of December 2025? No, of course it didn't. I think it's worth me going through a review of 2025 and give my perspective of what the trails actually did this year. And like I said, I think the more and more fear mongering that gets put out by people on these groups, the more and more it's pushing me away of believing this is actually true. Because what I'm seeing in the sky this year has most definitely not blocked out the sun. And I think it's worth me going through season by season and every single video to show you, even through the heat wave we had this year, there was nothing. And I tracked every single day of that heat wave and all the days where there's been load of trails in the sky. I've tracked everything.
And I think it's worth going through an overall perspective of what the year outcome was, because what people are saying on these pages is nothing compared to what I'm seeing. And I've been doing a lot of research this year and trying to track what these trails are doing. But nevertheless, I'm wishing everyone a happy 2026. And let's hope this year is better than 2025. But we'll see what happens. It's interesting times we're living in. So catch me on the Cosmic Twilight on YouTube, as well as Alien Addict, which I go live every Friday and Tuesday. And you can catch me on Investigate with Nick on Rumble. So I'll see you soon. I'm wishing you well.